Hi everyone, I'm the Boston Potta. As they would say in Boston, let's get started. This is another background type video, and it's got it's a technique. It's called ragging. I don't know if anybody's ever done this before, but this is called ragging. And as I'm showing you this, I'm going to show you a little way that you can make it a little more interesting. Another way you can do it. This is already painted black. The only two colors I'm using on this is Black Lab and Rockin' Red. Okay, Fun Stroke colors. Now, it'll be fired after. So I want to show you. So I painted this black with the Black Lab. I've got two coats on there. Now I'm going to do the paper technique, which I'm going to show you where this is just cut out paper. Now, all I did was drew this word that said teacher on there, drew an apple. It's just regular copy paper. I'm going to dip this apple into the water, and then I'm going to put it on the center of my tile here. This is just a regular 8-inch tile. I'm going to take a sponge and just sponge it down so it's down there good. Now I'm going to put these little letters on here also. Now they're just cut out by hand. If you have a Cricut or Silhouette, any kind of die cutting machine that you can cut these out, that's good. If you don't, I just cut these out by hand just because I wanted to show you how simple it would be to do that. Now I'm putting the word teacher, and I'm staggering these letters because of course they aren't cut out perfect. I'm not a good writer, so I just kind of doing them kind of funky. So that's how I'm going to put them on this thing. Now you know that a lot of the frontline heroes, they're calling teachers also. You could put teacher, you could write thank you. I also, at the same time I'm doing this little pen cup. The pen cup has black on the inside, two to three coats of black on the inside. Then I put 2 good coats of Rockin' Red on the outside. Now this one's going to be the opposite of this. So I have the red, and I'm going to go over it with black. This I have black, and I'm going to go over it with red. So I'm going to put this, while I'm doing these, I'm going to put this same little apple on here, because this is a nice, this would be really nice to give to a teacher, and especially important, just put teacher or just put thank you on it, and it's a teacher piece, and you can put pens, fill it with pens or pencils. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one here. I'm going to take the red. Don't want to get confused here, the red. So I've got red already poured, Rockin' Red poured in on my plate here. Now this is called the ragging technique. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to have some paper towels ready. So you got the black, you got the paper put down so it's nice and tight, so there's nothing around it. Now the paper, when you wet it, is almost like glue onto this dry background of the black. So as long as you have a glaze down, you can take any paper, the copy paper, and you can wet it and put it down, and it will stay stuck there until you're ready to pull it up. So now I'm going to take the red, and I'm just going to do 1 coat, and I'm going to do it kind of quickly because I want to make sure that I'm going to put it right over all of this, go right over everything. I'm doing it, as you can see, kind of thick because it's only 1 coat that I'm putting on here. I want to make sure I get the edges where the apple is. Now, while it's still wet, so you got to do this kind of quickly. While it's still wet, I'm going to roll the paper towel up into a ball, and not a neat ball because you want this kind of thing on the bottom. So you just kind of want to make it like kind of scrunchy like. And now, and I'm going to turn it as I'm doing this because I want it to really be, you have to have a couple of paper towels. I want that black to come through. Now this is called ragging off, not ragging on. So ragging on is when you're putting it on there. Now sometimes I twist it a little bit just to get it off of there. You need a few paper towels to do this. And where it starts to dry, sometimes you have to twist it to make, to get your technique in there. You want to see that black through there, because you don't want it to be all red, because you want your apple to show up. Okay. Now you don't want to wet this, because that's going to ruin your piece. So you can see some is different than others, but you will see that when you go to take this, when you go to after you fire it, you'll see what it looks like. I am going to show it to you fired. So that's it. Now you let that dry for a couple of minutes. While that's drying, I'm going to do this one. Only now, the reason I'm using a soft fan brush too, this time I'm going to do the black. The reason, because I'm going over the red. So when I peel this paper up, this is going to be black, that's going to be red. So the color is going to be the one that you've got the paper on. When you peel it up, that's what's got the color it's going to be. So now I'm going to do this, and I'm only going to do the one side at a time. So it's going to be the same thing. So I'm going to get some paper towels ready. So now I'm going to do this front area right here. And I'm going to go up on that edge, because I want that edge to be black too. I'm actually going to do that side and one of the sides, okay? Now I'm going to take this, roll it up again, and now I want the red to show through, okay? A little bit. The apple's going to be red, but you still want some red to show through the background. So it's going to be mostly black around the apple. So that's what you're going to do. I'm going to get this side while I'm here. Like I said, you can twist it a little bit if you want to make sure you get some of that red showing underneath. It dries pretty fast, so okay, I'm going to do this side. That's why you got to put it on a little heavy. If you put this on too thin, it's going to dry so quick you won't be able to get it off, okay? So do the same thing on this side. You can see the red through it. This ragging technique actually looks very nice when it's fired. It's a cool little technique. So it should look something like this if you could see it. Okay. Now you can see where my apple is. Now sometimes you have to wait till this dries. If you put on paint heavy when you're doing the paper, but this here I can take off right away. So I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna use a little pin, just the little pins that go in the Fun Writer bottles. I'm going to use a little pin, common pin, and I'm going to pick this up so I can lift it off there. Now I have a nice red apple. If you get any kind of paint or anything, if you get leakage from the black that goes under it, let it dry, and then you can kind of clean it up with a little tool and clean it up so it looks nice. And now this one here, move all my stuff aside. And now this one here, I'm going to take the little pin. I'm going to take up the apple. As you can see, I'm going to take up my letters. When it dries, you can see the letters more. When everything's dry, you can see how you can see, because the letters, the white paper, the paper stays wet. So you can usually see it as soon as everything else starts to dry. So I'm going to take these off, the little cutouts I did. You just got to kind of get an edge of it, or even in the middle, to get the paper off. Okay, so that's it. This is what this looks like. That's what the background looks like. And now, when I do show you this later, fired, when I show it to you fired, you'll see how it looks and what it came out like. So I'm going to show you how it looks fired. I am going to take the sponge and I'm going to dip it in the black. And because I want an edge on this, I'm going to put a little edge right around the, see, around just to trim it around the tile. So it's just giving it a little edge. So I'm just dipping the roundish end of the sponge, and I'm just going to go around the edge and just put an edging on it. And you just slide it across. Really easy. Nice and light because you don't want to take off your paint underneath. And that's my teacher plate. And that's about it. I'm going to make sure that this one here also, that the top has got a good coat of black because it goes in the black on the inside. And anyway, that's it. When these come out tomorrow, I'll show you these. That's what this one looks like going in. So that's got the red on the bottom, the black on the top. This got the black on the bottom, the red on the top. And that's it.